Okay, if everything is working accordingly, we are live.
What?
This time with 100% fewer audio and video dropouts.
We hope.
We hope. Have you gotten your sleep?
Uh, yes. Let's go with yes.
Well, I am pumped for today. I think today is going to be an amazing session, partly because of my amazing guest. You may know him as Agent Samael from Doom to Repeat, our podcast, our Delta Green podcast. You may know him as the composer of many of Mayday's greatest musical pieces. He is none other than the Captain of Chaos, Aaron. How are you, my friend?
I'm pretty good. Be sitting here right now.
Nice. I am happy that you are here. I am happy that Chad is not complaining that our audio and video sucks. I think today is going to be a little smoother. I do have on display our website, MDRP campaign / Ironsworn. That's where you can log on to our website, or at least go to our website, and you can see everything that we have done so far in sessions. You can see some of our lore, so check it out so you can kind of keep up with what's going on. In the meantime, though, before we begin, I want to kind of refresh everybody's memory as to what happened last session. Last session, the fabulous Zakia was on with me, and we created our first Ironlander. We created a Ironlander named Half. Half is a big, burly, strong boy, somebody who would belong in a group like the Ironmongers, but Half feels like he's stuck, like he doesn't want to be an ironmonger. He wants to do things like that the historians do. They want to be in charge of the rangers and the hunters, and they want to see the Ironlands. They don't just want to be building things and wielding weapons. They have a different idea about what they want out of their life. But uh, they decided to take some steps to kind of define themselves within the tribe. They decided to wake up early one day and head out and explore the eye of the storm. The storm is currently heading northwest, and so they went into that northwesternly direction towards the lid of the storm, and they came upon an abandoned village. What was interesting about this abandoned village, though, it could have even been from before the storm, but they found some black iron made of former tribes people who were dead, their bodies transformed into black iron, and through the rolls, Half could tell that this person was a descendant, an ancestor, a collective ally of the stoic cartographer named Mai, or Mai, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And Half decided that the best thing to do, he was so excited that his luck had kind of taken him to this, he decided to break off a piece of the black iron, broke off a hand with a familiar bracelet that seemed to be a way of identifying other members of Mai's kind of group. And not thinking, Half returned to the village triumphant. They blew open the tent doors, or the tent flaps of the cartographers, approached Mai while they were sitting there, and presented the black iron. And that's when Zakia rolled possibly the worst roll you can in Ironsworn, a miss with a complication. So, my friend Aaron, you are now
Yes.
Half, and
I'm half.
you need to complete this move. And when you complete this move, after missing, you must pay the price. So, my friend, please roll a d100 using roll 20 to find out what the price is that you must pay.
Oh no. Oh
Okay.
no.
Let me see one
I've.
second. Make sure I can
It's a 91. That
see
sounds pretty
this.
bad.
It's a 91. Let me move the thing up a little bit because it looks like we can't see it. Let's see. Roll 20. There it is. And now I'm going to unlock it, and we're going to show. Where is it? Here we go. I'm just glad the audio isn't dropping out and it's user error. That's good. There's that 90. Okay, 91.
91. By half.
It forces you to act against your best intentions.
Mm-hmm.
It forces you to act against your best intentions. What does that mean?
Well, in this case, that would probably mean, like doubling down. Like, yeah, I broke off this guy's hand, and I'm fucking proud of it. I know it doesn't, but I did it anyway.
That makes sense. Let's see. I think it forces you to act against your best intention. Yeah, so you double down and you're like, "No, this is for you. I'm presenting it to you." Yeah. But we rolled with a complication, so my is not satisfied. My is taking some kind of offense to this. And I think that my would stand up from the table, very stoic as they always are, and just maybe unsheath their sword. I think if you'd like, this is a dangerous situation.
I would say so.
You could attempt to face danger, but you could use your deception, stealth, or trickery rolling shadow. Does that make sense? There's different
Yes.
different ways you can do this. With charm, loyalty, or courage, you would roll with heart. With aggressive action or forceful defense, you roll with iron. With deception or stealth, you roll with shadow. With expertise, insight, or observation, you roll plus wits. What feels most appropriate?
So I think for half, with the stats that they have, they might in this case. I want to say that half is going to lose kind of their shit a little bit and going to try to take some kind of a evasive or fleeing action to get themselves out of immediate danger.
Sounds like then you want to move with speed, agility, or precision. Am I wrong?
I would say agility.
Okay, so go ahead and roll plus edge to see if you can get out of this.
This is a D100.
This is nope. You're going to use your character sheet and you're going to click the plus. You're going to click the edge button, and that will allow you to roll it with your modifier.
And edge is under. I'm sorry, I'm not
under summary. If you go to
summary, edge. I see. Oh.
Okay, that is a weak hit, a 3, and what's the other number?
I was supposed to roll twice.
No. I just want to know. I just didn't see it, so it's a 1 and an 8. I'm trying to also make it so that our audience can see it. So it's going to require a little futzing here. Whoops. Enable preview. Here we go.
We have an audience?
At least our good friends at Mayday are watching. I know that much. Okay, there we go. Now we see it. All right, so a weak hit on face danger. You succeed but face a troublesome cost. Choose one. You are delayed. You lose advantage or face a new danger. Suffer -1 momentum. You are tired or hurt. You endure harm. You are dispirited or afraid. Endure stress. You sacrifice resources. Suffer -1 supply. The one that makes the most sense to me is you are dispirited or afraid, because I
would agree.
Yeah, because despite your claim that, oh no, this is what you want, everything's fine, I think that Mai, in her stoic nature, would say, "You fool! You've broken the one agreement we all insist upon, and that would be so embarrassing for half." So, you are going to endure stress. You're going to, on your character sheet, you're going to see that there is stress. Let me open it up so our audience can see.
Is this under summary as well?
Yes, it should be under summary, and it's going to be at the very top. You can see at the very top, there is health, spirit, supply, experience. You see it at the top there?
Yes.
You are going to subtract 1 from your spirit. You're dispirited or afraid. Endure. I'm sorry. Before you do that, we're going to have you first endure stress. So,
I'm enduring stress. I can
You
say
are
that
enduring
confidently.
some stress. So, you face mental shock or despair. You're going to suffer spirit equal to your foe's rank. I'll say that for these purposes, they are dangerous, which means you're going to lose 2 spirit.
Ouch.
So you're going to go down to 3. Um, then roll either plus spirit or plus heart, whichever is higher. So either your heart is higher or your spirit. I think currently your spirit is higher.
Yeah. So do you mean health? Because
Uh,
I have health, but not heart.
you no plus heart is one of your modifiers.
Oh, there it
So
is.
you can
So yeah, it's spirit.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
go ahead and click the spirit word, and it should allow you to roll that, and we'll find out what you got. Another weak
Weak
hit,
hit.
a 5, a 4, and an 8. So on a weak hit, you press on. So all that you have suffered is the indignity, the shame of the cartographers kind of shooing you out. You know, obviously asking where you got this black iron, but then saying, "Get out of here, boy. We're going to reconsider whether you are in the right place or whether you are doing the right thing." So set the scene for us, Aaron. You're out of the tent. You've just been made a fool of, but you still have your life.
Which I think, given the circumstances, is probably as good of a thing as I could hope for. I've seen what these guys do to people when they mess up before. So I mean, I think half is probably like panting, heaving, sweating a little bit. They might like kind of run off around a corner and maybe find like a secluded space to kind of like sit down in and kind of just hide themselves away from public view for a little bit and kind of just take like a couple deep breaths and try to center themselves and kind of come back down to planet Earth.
Yeah, and I imagine it's actually like the middle of the day because he set out early the previous day, so it's like maybe 1 o'clock.
Right.
And
So I mean, I imagine he runs out and there's like people seeing him and he's, maybe like crying or obviously distressed. So I imagine they are anxious to get themselves out of that situation.
so let's say they do. What does the rest of the day look like? Is it just kind of sulking? Do you return to Grandma Avella, who is always someone who is supportive, although they have their opinions about what you should do with your life? How do you kind of spend the rest of the day? Because if you do kind of spend it being consoled, you could do a move called Sojourn, which is a kind of seeking assistance and guidance through your community.
I think that tracks. I think that old grandma Gma is probably the most stable relationship that half has available to them at the moment. So I think after, let's say, maybe 15 minutes, half an hour, they'll pick themselves up, maybe kind of hang their head a little bit because they're probably still visibly distressed, and
Yeah, hiding their
at least
face.
yeah, hightail it over, or sneak their way over the grandma's house.
And how would you describe Grandma?
So
Now, it is listed in the character sheet that she is fervent, and we decide that she is a fervent ironmonger. So she's probably a pretty tough broad.
or maybe she was a pretty tough broad, as you say. But in this society, I can't imagine that the average lifespan is very long. So I'm going to say she's probably about 40.
That makes sense. I think that tracks.
But these are hard lifestyles that they're living.
Yeah.
So she probably looks old, weathered. Maybe she kind of has like those like old people like muscle things going on where
Yeah.
it's kind of like baggy and wrinkly, but you can see that there's a lot of muscle packed onto there.
She's always asking you to like lift things, but when you're not looking, she can totally like do it herself.
Oh yeah. It's like a courtesy. Stern, probably a stern woman. But kind, motherly.
I bet by now, by the time you get to her, she's probably gotten the news that Half has made a complete fool of himself. And I bet you she's even like preparing something like some tea or some food and then, kind of ushers you in, sits you down and is like kind of nursing you. And is probably saying something like, "All right, Half, now you've seen, maybe you're not cut out to be a ranger. Maybe you should be an ironmonger like I think."
Because I made one mistake, though, I should just give up?
Well, no, I don't know. I think you're right. Maybe we should not one mistake, but But come on, Half. I mean, this is pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, but I mean, whether I did the right thing. I mean, we need black iron. I brought back black iron. I didn't like chop the whole thing up. I just took a little piece to say, hey, look, there it is. I didn't steal it from anybody.
I think that's fair. Why don't you go ahead and let's try to make a sojourn roll. When you spend time in a community seeking assistance, you roll plus heart. If you share a bond, add +1. So, when you click plus heart on your character sheet, it's going to ask for a modifier, and you can add 1 to that.
Okay.
And I don't believe sojourn is one of your skills as a, because you have all those different abilities. I'm not sure if, like with your companion or with Thunderbringer, you can get any kind of special thingamabob. Let's take a look real quick. Face danger, secure, compel, trickster. Yeah, no. So you're just going to roll plus heart +1. And let us know what you get.
Strong hit.
Strong hit. Great. Okay, awesome. That's a 9 and 2 4s. Excellent. So, on a strong hit, you and your allies may each choose 2 from the following categories below. If you pull it up, Aaron, under moves, you'll be able to see the exact things. But the point is, on a hit, you and your allies may each focus on one of your chosen recover actions and roll heart plus again, but we'll wait on that. So you can either clear a condition, recover, meaning either gain health or spirit, or you can provide aid, take a quest, envision what this community needs, or what trouble it is facing. So one that seems obvious is your character currently has -2 to their spirit. You could recover and take +2.
That would make sense. Conversely, though, Half may be feeling the need to get back out there and prove themselves and try to salvage the situation.
Sure, absolutely.
I suppose so. They might be more inclined to the latter, and inclined to take on some sort of task or quest to try to make up for their mistake.
The good news is you can choose 2. So you can kind of have your cake and eat it too.
So, well, fantastic. So yes, probably regain the spirit, and also do that latter bit as well.
Whoop, 1 sec. Okay. So we're gonna make our spirit +5 again, which is awesome. And then you said you'd like to take a quest, envision what this community needs or what trouble it is facing. If you choose to help, swear an iron vow and add +1. So you'd kind of already have that iron vow.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way we can maybe interpret that is we'll just give you that +1 to whatever your next roll is to accomplish this vow. You already have the vow that you want to bring back a haul. Now, you can either just go and help them in the process of getting this black iron, but there was something that we noticed last session. Due to a roll, Half noticed that the black iron had been manipulated in some way, as if it had been, like a chunk of it had already been cut off. You could look into what did that, what was the cause of this, or was there something stealing the black iron?
Well, yeah, I mean, that sounds like a threat to the tribe, and that sounds like a wonderful way to possibly go seeking for redemption.
Okay.
While also looping back to the original goal.
Exactly. I think that it makes sense that it's been at least a day that all of this has happened. So we'll say that it's a new day. Day 2 has come, and you decide to head out to figure out what caused the disappearance or the messing with this black iron. Let's see what would make the most sense. You could gather information. I think undertake a journey is another possible choice. But gathering information is
that
specifically...
that seems like the most, because Half wants to know why the iron was messed up like that.
Absolutely. So when you search an area, ask questions, conduct an investigation, or follow a track, you will roll +wits. If you act within a community or ask questions of a person with whom you share a bond, add +1. So would Half kind of speak with the community or would they just go out by themselves?
I think they, they're not going to be in much of a talking mood right now. They've just been humiliated. I think that in their mind, the best thing for them is to just get out there, do it, prove themselves, come back, and then have that hurrah moment
Makes sense.
afterwards.
So you are going to be rolling plus wits. So go ahead and click wits. You will not add that +1. I do think though your bonds might help. Excuse me, your assets might help with that. Let's take a look real quick. Go ahead and click assets. There you go. Let's see. Face danger, secure an advantage. Yeah, all of this is. Oh, yeah, no, there's no gather information, so you don't get any bonuses from your assets, but that's fine.
It's okay.
Yep.
Roll that. Miss.
Let's close.
But it also
this.
says under it, burn momentum, strong hit.
So you rolled a 2, and your
Uh-huh.
die are 3 and a 4, and you have a momentum of 5. Yes, you could burn your momentum and make this a weak hit as opposed to a miss.
What does that mean, burning momentum?
What it means is your momentum is currently at +5. It will burn it, meaning it goes back to +2. So you kind of reset your momentum. But this miss turns into a weak hit.
I'm going to do that.
Okay,
I'm feeling
awesome.
motivated.
I think you can. There's a way on your character sheet, I think, to either click momentum or burn momentum. It might say in the bottom right. Might say something like burn momentum
Burn.
or reset.
Yep, momentum, burn,
Awesome.
back to +2.
So, on a weak hit, the information complicates your quest or introduces a new danger. Envision what you discover and take +1 momentum. So you can move your momentum to +3, but you're going to face some kind of complication or a danger. Would you like to roll for that? We can ask
Yes.
the Oracle, or we can try to kind of make a broad idea about what we come upon. So let's see.
Let's roll for it. I don't want to pick my own danger.
Yes, absolutely. Character, Ironlander name. Let's make a decision about what the threat is in a very broad sense. Something that is breaking off iron. Is it alive or is it dead? Is it living or dead? Is it some kind of natural phenomenon or is it some kind of creature?
I want it to be some kind of a creature.
Okay. Let's say, how likely do we think it's a creature? Is it almost certain, likely, or 50-50?
I mean, something that had to. There was likely some intentionality there to break off the hand, so I would say pretty high likelihood.
So we'll say almost certain. So give me another D100 roll, and if it's an 11 or greater, it's likely some kind of living thing that did that. 20. Okay, so it is almost certain that it is something else. Let's see. Let's roll. Not action or theme. Maybe we can roll theme. Roll another D100, and let's decide from our themes what it could be. A 2.
That doesn't sound great.
What I have under theme is ability. Ability is the theme of this living thing. It has some kind of ability, maybe an ability to eat iron. I mean, that alone is a strange thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, like why else would it, why else would it do that?
Okay. So we know that it's something that is alive that is eating the black iron. The question now is, with a weak hit, you found a complication. So I think what makes sense is that you found tracks, but they're unusual tracks. Maybe even tracks you've never seen before. So let's see. What is the next logical move for you to make? I think you would definitely kind of continue on the trail, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's see.
Go after it or die trying.
You either would face danger or you would secure an advantage. So, like, maybe you follow these tracks but try to kind of gain some kind of advantage, or you would just kind of head after these things and possibly face danger if you find this thing.
So if I do the latter and I took like a stealthy approach, if I hit left control, Would that potentially qualify?
So you're saying you would want to roll deception, stealth, or trickery, which is plus
Yeah,
shadow.
probably stealth.
Okay, so let's secure an advantage. You're going to roll plus shadow. And again, check your trickster status, because I don't know if you gain a +1 with that.
When you face danger, secure an advantage by lying, bluffing, stealing, or cheating at +1. So I don't think that qualifies
Okay,
here.
all right. So you're just rolling plus shadow, which is already, I think, one of your better stats.
It is, fortunately. Miss.
Ooh, okay. So let's find out what happens when you miss. On a miss, you fail or your assumptions betray you. You are going to pay the price. So give me another D100 roll to find out how you pay this price.
Paid
58.
so many prices already.
It causes a delay or puts you at a disadvantage. So I think you spend like all day following these tracks to the point where maybe you even get lost or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um,
Or he's trying to be so sneaky that he's hardly moving.
yes, hardly moving, hardly making progress, and you spend all of your day, and you're no closer to kind of finding what is creating these tracks. Complicate. Let's see. Puts you at a disadvantage. I think you might even lose these tracks, and now you're suddenly, in the north somewhere. Not really sure what to do next. Okay, I think that fortunately you don't lose any momentum or something, but I have an idea. There is something we created in the lore that eats iron and can be kind of dangerous, and that is the Stormbirds.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've currently decided the tribe doesn't have any Stormbirds. So the way you might what is it called? 58. The way you might be at a disadvantage is the Stormbird might find you.
Please.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
So set the scene about how this happens.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The Stormbird was an ostrich?
Yes, or an ostrich-like creature.
Okay. So, here's what happens. You know that that season of Archer where it's like they're in space, and in like the first episode, Mallory is like that weird like bird monster thing that looks like vaguely ostrich, and it's got like the weird like metal like talons. So I'm imagining like I'm creeping along. I've lost the tracks. Maybe it's like starting to get dark. I can kind of hear like the battering of the storm around me, and then I kind of just hear this menacing. I look around. I start hyperventilating a little bit, then another, and then I whip around, and then I see it. It's this, however tall an ostrich is. I'm just gonna throw out 7 feet.
Probably.
This 7-foot tall ostrich-looking creature with these big kind of like wings that unfurl with like these sharp talons, and it's just like completely coated in like this scarred up iron that it's accumulated over the years, and it has just like this really that's almost like sharpened to a point, like it's been sharpening, like grinding the beak against like rock or something until it gets like sharp, and it looks at me with its glowing red eyes, and it just wails.
Okay, this sounds like it's going to attack you. You are going to let's see. This is a kind of combat. We are going to enter the fray. I think this makes the most amount of sense. So when you enter into combat, set the rank of each of your foes. So on your character sheet, you are going to 3 vows down. There should be a blank one. You are going to add a new threat, and that is going to be the Stormbird. Go ahead and write that out. And we're going to set the difficulty of this creature's attack. I think that a Stormbird, as big as it is troublesome. You could convince me that it's troublesome, but I think it's really more dangerous.
I would say it's pretty dangerous.
Okay, so
I
that
mean, this
means
is like a mythical creature.
that means you're going to mark dangerous underneath that option, and every time you succeed on a roll against this bad boy, you're going to gain 2 progress. But it also inflicts 2 harm against you if it damages you. So now that we know the difficulty of this foe, you are going to roll to determine who is in control, who kind of gets to move first. Facing off against your foe, you're going to roll plus heart. Moving into a position against an unaware foe or striking without warning, roll plus shadow. I don't think you have that. Ambushed, roll plus wits. I think you're totally ambushed. You need to roll plus wits,
which is not great news for half.
Let's see what happens.
Strong hit.
Nice. Amazing.
With the wit of 1.
So, on a strong hit, you're going to take +2 momentum.
Yeah, I will.
And you now have initiative. Because you have rolled so well, go ahead and put 2 check marks in your vow to battle this ostrich.
2 check marks.
So you have the initiative. What do you want to do? You can strike at it. You can clash when your foe has initiative, so you won't clash. You can strike. You can turn the tide. Once per fight, when you risk it all, you may steal initiative from your foe. You don't have to do that. When you fight a battle and it happens in a blur, envision your objective and roll. So you can either kind of string this out, or we can kind of have one roll to decide whether you succeed or fail at kind of fighting this thing. Now, is your intention to kill it, or is it to kind of just pacify it? This is a very rare creature.
I want to pacify it. Okay. I just found fucking Sasquatch.
Absolutely.
I want to take it back to show everybody. So, tell me if this is too crazy.
Tell me.
But so there's this option gain advantage, right? Or you turn the tide gain.
Turn the tide is more for when you want to steal initiative. I think either striking or battling with this thing. I suppose you could face danger. Face danger like you want to attempt to do something risky.
Say I hypothetically.
You could secure an advantage too.
Wanted to jump on its back and try to ride it.
Yeah. That is that's definitely facing danger. Now, here's the thing. How do you do that? Because using your different skills will, kind of have a different kind of flavor.
Yeah, I would say that I would probably try to use some type of, like, deception or misdirection. Like, I'm going to maybe run at it at an angle and make it think I'm going one way. And then, like, at the last second, I'm going to break right and, like, baseball skid underneath it. And then try to, like, grab onto it and swing myself onto its back.
Okay. Roll plus shadow. And you will face danger. Let's see if you can get out of this and mount this bird.
Miss!
Oh no! Ooh, and you can't really burn your momentum, huh? Because you're only at like a 6 or a 7. All right. So you miss. On a miss, you fail, or your progress is undermined by a dramatic and costly turn of events. Pay the price, Aaron. Roll that D100. Let's see what happens.
Oh God. 53.
It causes a delay or puts you at a disadvantage. I think you're going to lose the initiative, and this creature, you try to get around, but it's just too fast, and it's just kind of right on top of you. And now, due to your move, you're even closer to it. I think it's going to attack you. You are going to have to clash when your foe has initiative, and you fight with them in close quarters. Roll plus iron. Fortunately, you're pretty good at that. When you exchange a volley at range, roll plus edge, but we're rolling plus iron. Now, I think because you have your mace, you could flavor it, and you know exactly how.
So I have a mace.
Thunderbringer.
Okay. Let's see. Is this under?
Does it say clash?
I don't think it does.
Damn. All right. I'm sorry. You can't use it. You're gonna roll plus iron. See if you survive.
Weak hit? But I can burn momentum and get a strong hit.
Yes, you can if you want to.
I would like to do that. Okay. This is life or death.
On a strong hit, inflict your harm and choose one. You have the initiative. So, this thing kind of strikes at you, but you kind of whack it with your hammer and kind of daze it, and you're going to add +2 to your progress, +2 check marks to your vow of fighting this thing. You bolster your position. You're going to take. You can choose one. You can either add +1 to your momentum or +1 to harm of this creature.
It just pissed me off. I want to fuck it up a little bit. Let's do +1 to harm.
Okay. You are going to add that +1, which I think counts as your. I might have misspoken and said that instead of 2 check marks, it's just 1 check mark because you added harm.
I see. So I'll clear that.
Okay, you have initiative because you rolled a strong hit. You can either try to end the fight, you can battle, or you can try to secure an advantage in some way or something like that.
So when you say end the fight, does that mean flee?
Well, there's 2 moves. There's end the fight or there's battle. When you end the fight, you make a vow to take a decisive action. This is basically you're going to roll against your progress against the enemy to see if you can beat them. So the problem is you're rolling 4 or against 4. That's
I don't
not
have.
Turn out well.
I don't like those odds. I'm going to battle.
Yeah, you okay. So when you fight in a battle and it happens in a blur, envision your objective and roll. Are you fighting at range? Are you fighting with your companion? Are you fighting up close? You roll +iron. Are you using trickery? You're going to roll +shadow. Or
so
if you're
this
trying
is
to outsmart it, you roll +wit.
This is interesting because I have the hawk.
Yeah.
Could I hypothetically invoke the hawk to like get up in its eyes and cause some kind of like distraction?
Technically, no, because you can do that once the hawk is upgraded, once you've gained enough experience. So right now, the hawk can only help you in undertaking a journey.
Okay. So, okay.
But with that said, you could still use the hawk and roll +heart.
Which would get me what? Exactly?
You would just be rolling +heart. You wouldn't have any bonuses on top of that.
Okay. So basically my options here are I have to pick like a skill to use.
Yes.
Too. Okay. So I don't know what kind of misdirection I would use.
I mean, hey, there's always pocket sand. There's always hiding behind trees. You could always justify.
Yeah, I think that I think that I would probably try to gain, some sort of high ground. And you know what? Fuck it. You said sand. I'm just gonna throw sand in his eyes.
Yes.
Why the fuck not?
All right. So roll +shadow.
Strong hit.
Very, very nice. On a strong hit, you achieve your objective unconditionally. Take +2 momentum.
Hell yeah.
I think that this counts as another 2 towards your goal because, again, another strong hit. So how many check marks do you have towards defeating this bird right now?
5.
5. I mean, the creature is probably stunned. It's probably, got its eyes closed. It's got the pocket sand in its face. But it's not quite yet defeated. There's still something you need to do to kind of take it down for good. Just one more roll of some kind.
I don't have any sort of like rope or anything.
Sure, you have rope. I see no reason why you wouldn't.
Could I try to the AT-AT this thing?
Absolutely. I think that's either a face danger or secure an advantage.
It seems pretty dangerous. I would feel like face danger.
All right, so you're trying to tie it up with a rope. I think that I don't know which is of the abilities, which kind of seems the most pertinent. When you roll with speed, agility, or precision, it's +edge. Charm, loyalty, or courage +heart. That doesn't seem applicable unless you can justify it's courageous to get so damn close to it.
I mean, it's a pretty wild thing to try. I'm gonna argue that only because I would rather roll heart than edge.
Then let's do it. I think he's got to prove himself. So Half gets in close with the rope and tries to AT-AT this thing.
Complication.
Ooh. Okay. Your momentum is +2, so that's useless to you.
Mm-hmm.
This is real bad. On a miss, You fail, or your progress is undermined by a dramatic and costly turn of events. Pay the price, Aaron. You're paying the price a lot today.
Half just can't get a break. This poor guy.
68.
Goddamn.
It
One
is
more.
harmful. So we're going to say that you're going to take harm. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe that since it is dangerous, you're going to take 2 harm. So your health is going to go down 2 from 5 to 3.
It's not the end of the world.
So what does this look like as it's attacking you?
So I run at it with the rope screaming, and right as I'm like swinging the rope off to my side like a lasso, getting ready to like whip around it and, tie its legs up. At the last second, I trip, and it just beaks the shit out of my shoulder and kind of like penetrates into the side, and I feel kind of like it go all the way through my shoulder until it clink strikes the stone
Ooh.
underneath me as it pulls back up, and it's getting ready to reel down for another attack.
Damn, this thing's got a rapier for a beak.
Yeah.
So you've
It's
lost
a fucking Stormbird.
Yes. You've lost the initiative. So this thing is going to just keep kind of pecking at you. Because it's in close quarters, you're going to roll plus iron. Come on, no whammies.
It's a miss. I can burn momentum for a weak hit.
If
which
you
feels,
now here's the
feels
reason why you
wise.
can't is because I don't think you reset your momentum previously. You had burned it previously.
I did. I burned it, and it went back to 2, and then I got another +2, and it went back up to 5. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No. You know what? Fuck it. I'll let you have it. If you want to make it a miss, absolutely. Or excuse me, a weak hit. On a weak hit, inflict your harm, but then pay the price. So I will say that you can add 2 check marks to the vow of defeating this, but you must pay the price. As probably you get like another strike, another punch, but this thing is just nearly unstoppable.
And I imagine like the mace or whatever I'm whacking it with is just kind of clamoring off uselessly because it's a bird made out of metal.
All right, so go ahead and pay the price. Let's roll the D100.
No sweater though.
50.
Unfortunately.
A new danger or foe is revealed. There seems to be only one obvious choice.
It's a pack of Stormbirds.
Do you want to ask the Oracle to see maybe it's something else?
Yeah, why don't we do that? 'Cause
Okay.
I don't want to fight 2 of these.
Is it almost certain or likely or 50-50 that it's another Stormbird?
I would say it's likely that it's another Stormbird.
Okay,
Like it's
roll-
mate or something.
Roll a D100. If you roll 26 or greater, it is a different enemy.
94.
Okay. All right. So let's decide what enemy it is. You can roll for it if you like, or let's see. Let me find the different kinds of creatures in this game. What would make the most sense? I mean, I suppose a pack of wolves or some kind of creature.
Yeah, maybe like some wolves like heard the noise or something and came to investigate.
Let's go with that. I think
Mm-hmm.
you're in the midst of battling this bird. It stops and kind of looks.
Ooh!
And when you both look, there's a pack of wolves. Now, here's the interesting situation. You're just as much in a shitty situation as this Stormbird.
Yeah, because I imagine that here's how I'm imagining this. I'm like waiting for the bird to finish pecking me to death. We both hear this "aroo" out of the corner of like our ears, and we both just kind of look at each other. And then we slowly look to the right to see the pack of wolves creeping up on us both.
I would justify, if you wanted to try this, you could possibly try to compel this Stormbird to
I was gonna
run.
say, could I? Is there any way I could be like Stormbird? Let's band together the fuck up these wolves.
Yes, you could. At this point, though, it's going to make a much longer battle that the two of you will probably walk away from quite hurt. I mean, you're already, I think, at +3, right? You're at +3 health.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I kind of feel like the win is you guys get away and maybe you bring this thing along with you, right?
Can I be like, so counter offer to that? Could I be like, yo, Stormbird, let me ride you back the camp and show you to everybody so you don't get killed by these wolves.
Okay, I'm down with it. So you're going to compel, you're going to attempt to persuade someone to do something. If you're going to charm or pacify them, you got to roll plus heart. If you threaten or incite, you'll roll plus iron. If you lie or swindle, you'll roll plus shadow. Now remember, as a Thunderbringer, I think you can gain a +1 if you smash your hammer in some way to gain that +1.
I'm gonna try to scare the shit out of the bird and make it think that if it doesn't go along with what I'm trying to get it to do, it's gonna be dealing with me and the wolves, and there's no way it's gonna survive. Even if I go down, I'm gonna take it down with me.
So it makes sense that you'd roll plus iron. You are threatening or inciting.
Yes, which means +1.
Yeah, and you're gonna roll plus iron, and you're gain +1 because of the Thunderbringer asset. So let's see what comes of this. Hopefully, it's a good hit.
Weak hit.
Weak hit. That's okay. On a weak hit, as above, they'll do what you want or share what they know. You're gonna take +1 momentum, but they ask something of you in return. Envision what they want. So it works. What does it look like when it works?
I kind of just look at the bird and slam the mace into the ground, and I'm assuming it does not speak language.
No.
So I give her the very stern look. I point at the wolves sternly, and then I point back in the direction of the campfires back at camp, and just kind of say, "Weigh your options, bird."
I'd imagine it just starts running in the direction of camp.
And I'll try to grab it and have it drag me.
Okay, you are going to gain +2 to your vow of battling this bird, which brings you to 7, right?
It brings me to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Ooh. So we'll deal with the fact that this thing wants something of you. It wants something in return. But let's first kind of end the combat. You're going to end the fight. When you make a move to take decisive action, you are going to roll the challenge die against the momentum that you have. So because you have a 9 in that vow of stopping the bird, you're going to roll just 2d10, and you got to hope that the 2d10 are less than the 9.
Ooh, slightly less than 50-50 odds.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Something like that.
I believe that half can do this. Oh, that
was
1d10.
That's a 5 and a 1. Awesome. That is
6.
That is a strong.
He did it.
That is a strong hit. On a strong hit, the foe is no longer in the fight. They are killed out of action, flee, or surrender as appropriate to the situation of your intent. So, obviously, you tell the Stormbird to run. It runs. You run. And I think that the wolves try to gain after you, but you lose them. You are a trickster, and you're able to kind of hide in the shadows and get away. And I think eventually there's like this quiet moment where maybe you're in a place with the Stormbird, maybe a little quiet area amongst the trees. And what is it that the Stormbird wants of you? I think it might not progress. It might not come with you to the camp unless you satisfy this thing that it wants.
I mean,
we've already established. Go ahead.
What could a Stormbird want?
Well,
if not more food?
Yes, exactly.
So it seems like its condition is that it's going to get a little black iron snack.
Do you have any black iron on you?
I know where to find some.
True. You also have probably regular iron. You probably, your mace is probably made of iron.
Let me see if just the regular iron will appease it.
Okay. Let's see. I think that it eats iron. We've kind of made the decision that that's what it wants from you. I think it makes sense that, it would kind of come over and start pecking at the iron. And it's incredible. You've never seen anything be able to, like, strip off pieces of iron, but sure enough, it kind of takes a couple of bites. I wouldn't say you've necessarily tamed this thing, but it's not attacking you anymore.
A tenuous
Yeah.
allyship.
Yeah, I think
Perhaps?
so. I think so. So what is the next motive for Half? What does he want to accomplish now?
I want to get this bird back for everybody else to see it. Because if people see that I brought back a fucking storm bird, they're gonna forget all about the incident with the hand.
Absolutely. Let's find out what you need to do to make that happen when we come back from the intermission. We'll be back in 5 minutes, okay?
Hey!
All right, here we go. right, we are back. What a great first half of the session. So half, set the scene for us. What's happening now between you and the Stormbird?
Okay. I am in make peace mode with the Stormbird now. Trying to romance it.
Romancing the bird.
God, now I regret saying that, but that's okay. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna set up camp. And I'm gonna try to stay here, for the night. I mean, when I say set up camp, I mean I probably don't have a lot with me, but I'm gonna, stay put for a while and see if I can try to do anything to win this bird over to me. I want to see if I can get it to imprint on me. I want it to be my storm bird so that I can go show it to everybody in the morning.
Yeah, so we'll say it's kind of late in the day. You did spend the entire day searching for this storm bird. So the sun is just setting behind the cloud wall of the storm, and you make camp. When you rest and recover for several hours in the wild, you are going to roll plus supply. Currently, your supply is at +4. So let's find out what the results are.
Okay. Weak hit.
A weak hit. On a weak hit, you may choose one. You can recuperate, partake, in which you would suffer some supply. You would relax, focus, prepare. Recuperate, you take +1 to your health.
I'm not sure that recuperate makes sense.
Right. If you partake, then you suffer -1 supply and take +1 health for you and your companions.
I'm gonna go with partake.
That makes sense.
He gets the bird gets a snack. I get a snack.
Exactly.
It's
kind of justifies that -1 to the supply. So you're going to subtract 1 from your supply. You're going to take a +1 to your health. If you have lost any, I think now you'd be at.
I did
4.
So go from 3 to a 4.
Yeah. So you spend the night with this bird who doesn't really want to leave the area anyway, and it kind of settles down and is sitting next to you, and you set your hammer close to it, and it pecks at it once in a while. Something we decided that happens is that when an ostrich eats iron, it actually glows in the dark.
Yes.
So throughout the night, you don't even have to set up a fire. It's
starts glowing.
Starts glowing. So the next day comes, and it sounds like you want to forge a kind of bond with this creature, huh?
I'm gonna try my darndest.
Okay. When you do, you are going to roll +heart. If you make this move after you successfully fulfill your vow, you may re-roll any dice, but you have not done that. So you're just going to be rolling +heart.
Okay. Come on. Give me my bird.
Okay.
Weak hit.
Weak hit. On a weak hit, they ask something more of you first. Envision what it is.
I think maybe it wants the good stuff.
It wants more black iron.
Black iron. Yeah.
So then, see, the way it says is you have to do it or swear an iron vow and mark the bond. If you refuse or fail, pay the price. So the point is that you do successfully forge a bond with this thing, but it wants black iron. How are you going to accomplish this? Oh, good. Oh, the other thing we forgot, it's been 2 days in game. Roll me a d8. Let's find out what direction the storm is heading.
That's right. 8.
And 8 is true north. So it's going to go right. Yeah. So you find yourself waking up to the sound of the storm. It's now a mere 7 miles behind you at the anvil. The anvil is coming straight towards you. And you know that you need to head north.
Right. So, but with that, I know this bird somehow this bird non-verbally communicates to me that it wants black iron.
Maybe it just stops eating the iron that you have.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, doing that, like maybe it's like a dog where it starts whimpering because it doesn't like this treat. It wants the good treats that it knows that you're hiding from it. So I do happen to have a lead on where we might find some black iron. And if the bird happened to eat a little bit of it, no one would necessarily know that I gave it permission.
True.
So
So,
I think I might try to lead it in the direction of that body that I found.
okay, I think that makes total sense. I would say that you even know where it is, so you don't even have to undertake a journey. You just head in that direction. The bird follows you. But if somebody catches you doing this, this is a problem.
Yeah.
I would say if you wanted to before you face danger, you could secure an advantage or gather information. But either way, you're going to end up facing danger to determine whether you successfully do
would
this.
probably like to gain an advantage or gather information by maybe just scoping the place out a little bit, make sure that no one's watching.
I think gather information is the most pertinent one then. So, when you search an area, ask questions, or conduct an investigation, you are going to roll plus wits. If you act within a community or ask questions of a person with whom you share a bond, add +1. Can you justify this Stormbird in some way helping you?
I mean, it wants black iron.
True.
So, well, it's hungry. Okay, so it's hungry. So I can't imagine that it's going to be keeping an eye out. So I don't think it's going to be much help.
Okay, so you'll then just
Because
roll
it's-
plus
yeah,
wits.
it's gonna be busy chomping down.
Let's see what happens.
Oh God.
Ooh. Your investigation
be
unearths a dire threat or reveals an unwelcome truth that undermines your quest. You can pay the price, or we can kind of decide what that is. I mean, to me, the obvious thing is that there is already a party there that is currently unearthing the iron for Mai.
Well, that's not the problem, because then I can just be like, hey guys, look what I found.
However, it is a miss, so we need to pay the price nonetheless. Why
Yeah.
don't you roll a D100 to see if we can interpret what that means? Because it can't all be roses for old Half.
Half just can't catch a break. It's 41.
The current situation worsens. The current situation worsens.
So, that either means that perhaps the party doesn't, tries to shoo Half away because they know that they did something untoward with this source of black iron.
So you're saying they see it and they're like, it's a Stormbird. It eats the black iron. We got to kill it.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah.
Or
Well, I mean, I imagine though they would be like, what? They've probably never seen one.
true.
So they've got to be a little bit like, what the?
What about this? What if that pack of wolves that you lost shows up?
Yeah, they've been tracking us. Yeah.
So suddenly it's like they see you with the Stormbird, but then they also see just coming behind you a pack of wolves.
Yeah. And then Half's like, guys, look, I found a Stormbird.
And they're like, run! Okay, so I think first of all, because you have forged a bond with this thing, I think on your character sheet, under the vow of bringing a haul, I think it's worthy of adding 2 check marks to that. This is progress. This is definitely progress in your vow. Although things have gotten complicated with these wolves.
Half had 2 check marks under that, right?
Half currently should have 4, I think.
Okay.
Under the vow of bringing back a haul.
I hit Mark and it added like 1,000,000 check marks, so I just wanted to make sure.
So there was 4, and you added another 2, so you're
there should
totally
be
fine.
6.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. So let's figure this out. You've got a bird. You've got your tribe who are still kind of like taking out the last pieces of black iron, and there is this these wolves. What makes the most sense? Some of them are saying, we gotta run, we gotta run! Some of them are saying, no, we have to face them on!
Let's get out of here.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to lead me, the Stormbird, these guys, and myself back to camp. Away from the wolves.
All right. I think first you need to compel these suckers to get out of here, because some of them are standing their ground. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think half would be like, do you want to fight some wolves and maybe die, or do you want to come back to me with camp and revel in the glory of us finding a stormbird? I'll say that we all found it. How about that?
All right. You are going to attempt to persuade them. How are you doing this? Plus heart, plus iron, or plus shadow? And remember, you have the Thunderbringer ability.
So I think in this case, I would like to do shadow because half is claiming that he'll share the credit with them, but he's not intending to.
Okay. So you're going to roll plus shadow with no pluses beyond that. Let's see what you get.
Weak hit.
A weak hit. As above. Okay, so they'll do what you want or share what they know. Take +1 momentum. But they ask you for something in return. Envision what they want. I think what's obvious to me is they want to bring that black iron. I mean, the storm is literally about to wash over this black iron again. So they're probably like, well, you got to help us take this.
Can I really quickly try to tie the black iron off to the bird and get it to tow the black iron?
Sure. I think that's possible to do. You do have a bond with this thing. What makes the most sense? I think probably facing danger or securing an advantage.
I think securing an advantage makes sense.
Okay. You're going to do that, and you're going to decide. You're either rolling with expertise, insight, or observation. I think that makes the most sense, actually, is that you're rolling with wits.
Yeah, which is a risk, but let's do it. Miss, I can burn momentum and get a weak hit, which I will probably do.
Okay. On a weak hit, your advantage is short-lived. Take +1 momentum. So, add that +1 momentum. What do you think happens? The victory is short-lived. So what does that look like?
Like, I get it tied off to the bird, but then you know, he or she, I don't know what the bird is, gets running, and
probably works.
Goes
probably starts dragging it,
but it's real slow.
Yeah,
it's a little bit too heavy.
I would say that like the other Ironlanders probably even help. Like they're probably like helping it push along. But I would say at a certain point, probably halfway to the village, the rope probably breaks or comes loose of the Stormbird. Or maybe the Stormbird just becomes exhausted from dragging this heavy iron.
So then at that point, could I just attempt to myself pick it up and start huffing with it?
Yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely. I
think things are going really quickly, so the only thing that I would say half would think to do is like, oh shit, scoop it up and just.
Do you want to be the one that picks it up and carries it, or do you want to let the Ironlanders do that and you possibly try to fend off the wolves? Which would you prefer?
I would prefer to get the Ironlanders to do it, only because there's more of them, and if they can, you know, like each grab a limb or whatever, that's probably going to go more smoothly.
Okay. You are either facing danger, which makes the most sense to me at the moment, or securing an advantage where you're trying, you know, you're getting an advantage for your allies.
I'll face danger.
Okay. You are going to be, I suppose, just kind of wielding your half-bitten hammer, right? Trying to scare them off.
Swinging it around. Yep.
I think when you face danger as a Thunderbringer, you might be able to add +1 if you kind of smash it in the ground, right?
Secure an advantage by... I could secure an advantage by hitting or breaking an inanimate object, but I'm not sure what inanimate object.
So you can either have the +1 by securing an advantage, or just a straight iron roll.
Yeah, I don't see what inanimate object I would destroy.
Hell, there could be a rock right next to you that you decide to smash.
Can I just smash the rock as hard as I can?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're trying to scare off these fucking wolves. So you're going to roll +1 plus your... how are you securing this advantage? Probably deception, so probably plus shadow. Right? You're deceiving these wolves, or you are kind of tricking them?
I mean, it seemed like I was more trying to, you know, use more of like...
Heart? Like courage?
Strength. So yeah, it seems like it'd either be heart or iron, maybe?
I say heart makes the most sense because iron would be like you're literally engaging the wolves.
Okay.
So let's say plus heart plus 1. Let's see what you get.
Weak hit.
Okay. On a weak hit, your advantage is short-lived. Take +1 momentum. So, +1 momentum. You do manage to kind of spook off the wolves a little bit, and the other Ironlanders do seem to be heading their way. But it's short-lived, so I think that the wolves quickly kind of realize you're just trying to corral them. What happens next, you think?
So it seems that the wolves are going to get wise right about the same time that the Ironlanders have hoisted this hunk of black iron up, this dead guy, and they kind of start running off with it, but they haven't quite gotten there. They haven't coordinated appropriately, to as to how they're actually going to move in unison. So they're kind of like stumbling over each. Like when
Yeah,
you're trying
yeah,
to move a couch with
yeah.
like you got two people trying to move a couch, and like the guy at the bottom is moving just like a little bit too fast.
Right.
Oh my god! I imagine that's kind of what's going on.
Okay,
So maybe at some point they like trip and fall or something.
sure. The problem is that I think the only logical thing would be the wolves either continue to advance or there's something else. Your advantage is short-lived. What does that mean? Maybe the wolves start going after the Stormbird, or they find a way kind of around you and start attacking the other Ironlanders.
I would say that the wolves are going to take up like a flanking position and maybe try. I'm not sure what their goal would be other than to kill.
Yeah, maybe to kill
so-
you. Maybe they've surrounded you.
Yeah, I would probably. Yeah, let's go with that. They've surrounded
Okay.
me because I pissed them off earlier. So
So
they would be going for me.
let's see. This is definitely face danger, but this is also kind of enter the fray. But the problem is I mean, you're not going to survive. Like I assume this is a pack of like 7 to 8 wolves. You gotta find your way out of here. You got to figure out how to get out of here. I think
maybe the Stormbird
sure.
has imprinted on me enough that it runs to my aid.
I think that's realistic. I think that's totally within the realm of possibility. The thing is that if you're going to face danger, what attribute are you going to use? Edge, heart, iron, shadow, wits?
I would probably try. I mean, there's no way I'm killing all of these wolves up.
No, yeah. You just
So
got to
I
get
would-
away.
I would probably try to give them the slip.
Okay.
So I would somehow try to use shadow.
I think it's realistic, and maybe what it is they're all like about to attack you, and that's when the Stormbird, comes running in and distracts them long enough for you to slip away.
Click. Maybe the clinking of the Stormbird's like talons against the rock like spooks the wolves a little bit, and
Sure.
that gives me just enough time to dip.
All right, give me that plus shadow to see what happens.
Weak hit.
A weak hit. You succeed, but face a troublesome cost. Choose one. You are delayed, and you suffer -1 momentum. You endure harm, you endure stress, or you suffer 1 to your supply.
Here's what I think. If Half is carrying some stuff around with him and he wants to get away quick, maybe he like ditches a bag or something and takes -1 to supply.
Yeah, maybe even like you slip past most of the wolves, but one of them is on you, and when it bites you, it bites your backpack, and you have to let it go of the backpack.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, you are going to suffer -1 to supply, but you succeed. So you get away, and we'll say that this Stormbird also kind of runs off, and by this point, you guys are too close. Other Ironlanders have kind of run up, and they're kind of yelling with spears, and they spook off the wolves. So you return. You return. It is kind of the middle of the day, and set the scene for us. I mean, you come walking in, not only having helped and saved men who were trying to get this black iron, but you have a legendary bird with you.
Yes. If the Stormbird will allow it, I will mount it and ride it proudly into town with kind of like a chip on my shoulder and be like, "Oh, hello. I didn't see you there." From on top of this Stormbird that I have tamed and brought to camp.
All right. I think that's awesome, and I think that you should test your bond. Probably makes the most amount of sense, right? Like you're trying to convince this thing. All right, we're allies. Let's kind of come in together into town, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when your bond is tested through conflict, betrayal, or circumstance, you are going to roll plus heart.
Don't mess with me now, Stormbird.
Come on, baby.
Come on. Weak hit.
A weak hit. On a weak hit, your bond is fragile, which it definitely is. And you must prove your loyalty, envision what they ask of you, and do it. If you refuse or fail, clear the bond and pay the price. I think that the thing does not allow you to write it. But you arrive anyway with it, right?
Yeah. So I guess I'm leading it instead of
Yeah.
writing it, which
Yeah.
isn't as good.
No.
But I mean, I still got the fucking Stormbird.
And I imagine that by now, you know, the commotion of what's been going on, the wolf attack has drawn everyone out, and people are coming up, and there you see Mai, and you see your other ally from the historians, Mona. You see Grandma Avella, all of them, you know, noticing you coming in with this, and this is impressive. You've brought a Stormbird back. You've helped bring back a big haul. I think you may add another 2 points to your vow of bringing back a haul. And it might be worth rolling against it to see if you can complete your vow and gain some experience.
I would love to do that. I think Half is feeling very confident right now.
So let's just double check. Looking at our map here. Let me do something real quick. Okay, we are looking at the character sheet. We have the prove themselves by finding a haul. You've marked, looks like 7 progress, right?
Yes.
Okay, my friend.
I have 8 down for.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. You're right. 8 is fine. Let me make a quick, before you do anything, I just want to make sure our friends at home can see this roll. So let me move it. Here we go. Okay, so when you are ready, make that roll. You're going to roll 2d10s against your 8.
2d10. And here we go.
A 5 and an 8, which is a weak hit. Let's go to, there's the option of fulfilling the vow. Where is it? Undertake, face a setback, quest. Fulfill your vow. So, let's switch back here. When you achieve what you believe to be the fulfillment of your vow, you're going to roll. On a weak hit, there is more to be done, or you realize the truth of your quest. Envision what you discover, then mark experience. So, you successfully do this. You may add 2 points to your experience. These points can be used to either upgrade current assets or gain future assets. I think +2 allows you to gain a new asset, and +3 might upgrade a current asset. But the point is that you realize the truth of your quest. There is more to be done. What do you think that might be? Or we could roll for it too.
I can't possibly think of what could be better than hauling a Stormbird in. But
Well, it's not that you didn't complete your vow. I mean, everyone is impressed by this. But maybe as like the night sets in and you're kind of just thinking about the experience, you know, you recall your second vow, the bigger vow, which is you want to gain a position of power to fix issues within the tribe. And maybe you realize there's now, maybe it's just a matter of realizing, okay, now's the next step. Now I need to do something more to gain to get closer to gaining a position of power.
So I mean, Half's goal is that they want to be, they want to have it in with the cartographers, right?
Mm.
So I think that it would probably have something to do with that.
They want to get in good, I think, with the historians preferably. the cartographers, it was just a matter of circumstance
see.
that they found that black iron.
So if right, they want to get in good with the historians. So maybe it would be like finding some kind of artifacts or information related to the past. Maybe that would be like their next step. Some kind of something to add to the knowledge base.
Yes, I think that makes sense, but I also think that I think you would only decide to do that if you kind of got the direction from the historians. Like, if you want to join a club, then you pretty much want to find out what that club needs or what the club like desires or what the rules are about how to kind of move up in the club. So maybe the next role that we do will be something more akin to gathering information or forging a bond with these guys. The point is I think this is a good place to stop for today.
And that'll be up to whatever schmuck comes next.
Exactly. Speaking of schmucks, let's have you roll a d6. And
the only thing is we need to exclude Amanda because she has in the calendar next week.
Yes.
That she's
So
unavailable.
Amanda, you and Zakia. Amanda was 1, and I believe you and Zakia are 3 and 4. So 2, 5, and 6 are the numbers we're looking for.
So I'll just re-roll until I get one of those.
Yes.
4.
4, which was you.
4 again.
4 again. They really want you to go. 6. 6 was Eli.
Eli!
So next session, it is Sound Kid Eli's turn to decide how to move forward with this new complication, this new decision that Half has to make. But hey, it looks like we had a much smoother session. I had a lot of fun. I hope you had fun, Aaron.
I did. Eli, you're welcome for the Stormbird.
All right, so we have played our second session of Ironsworn. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Please look at all the other amazing content that we are producing on YouTube. Every other Wednesday, we have Heroes You Should Know with Allegra. This coming Friday, we are going to be playing a one-shot called Wizard Prison, also run by Allegra.
Prison!
Very excited about that. We had some funny moments in that one. Aaron, anything you want to plug or say before we end today?
Not really. Just keep watching Mayday shit.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.